That looks like a big shooter to me. Maybe if we glue it on him like that. Yeah. There we go. Wow! Welcome back to the Red Ones Go Faster. I am Old Big Mech, and that epic new intro was made by yours truly, thanks to some other really awesome artists. That would be the Goth Rockers themselves on the soundtrack, and now artwork by Alberto Gili. You will find information on all those artists down in the description below. You should totally check them out. So, let's get into it! So yes, as longtime viewers of the channel know, our intro song was created by the epic band known none other than as the Goth Rockers. That would be the YouTube channel at Dead Shooty Productions. You will find all of their information down in the description of every single video we have that has their music on it. They created that just for Old Big Mech here on the channel. It's really epic. They've released a couple of albums. They tour around. They're often playing near cons and conventions and, things like that. You should totally check these dudes out. Again, all their stuff is down in the description. And then that artwork that you saw, that is also our new thumbnail thing for YouTube for the channel, that was made by a really talented artist that I found on the internet whose name is Alberto Gili. Apologies if I'm butchering your name, Alberto. Alberto is from Europe. He is not from here in the States where Old Big Mech is. And I've seen his artwork online, and he's been posting on Facebook and things like that. And I just knew that his style was perfect for what Old Big Mech wanted here on Red Ones Go Faster. So I actually commissioned him to make that artwork, and he has completed it, and it turned out just absolutely epic. The whole experience was really awesome working with both of those artists. I will have Alberto's links down in the description below. You can find him on Twitter, X, whatever the heck it's known as now, but you can get in touch with him to commission your own artwork. In fact, here is some examples of Alberto's art right here on his Orktober advertisement page, which is how I found him. So yeah, expect to see Alberto's artwork coming soon to everything here on the channel, possibly some shirts, and then depending on how things go, we'll see about commissioning him to do some more artwork as Old Big Mech comes up with some more crazy honking ideas. So if you need your own Big Mech or War Boss drawn up, I definitely go hit up Alberto. And what I really wanted to start this video off was with thank yous for those guys, because really this is a community, right? Like, yeah, Games Workshop is this big, corporate entity, but we're all here because we love everything about the setting and the universe, and we're all artists in different ways, right? There are those of us that are artists at building, there are those of us that are artists at painting, there are those of us that are artists at playing the game and doing tactics. There are video makers, there are 2D artists, 3D artists, sonic artists, right? And we're all part of this together. And making sure that the voices are heard of these individual artists, making sure that everybody knows the epicness and the awesomeness that is out there is like super important to me. So if you are a part of this channel and you watch and you are an artist in your own right too, hit me up, man. Let's get you on here. Let's talk about your art as well. Let's spread the love, you guys. If you see anything on here that you like, go check them out. Throw them a like or two. Throw a follow or a subscription. Every little bit helps every single artist trying to get their work out there. And that includes myself. Old Big Mech here can be found obviously all over YouTube. We also have a Patreon, which you can join even at a free level. I don't put anything behind a paywall. I don't have a lot of teeth. I know most of you don't have a lot of teeth either. That's why we're orcs, right? We build things out of, well, toys and garbage, right? But everything that you can do totally helps each other out. Doing some likes, making some comments, subscribing, joining us over on Patreon. And if you do have a few teeth to throw Old Big Mech's way, he would really appreciate it. There's also our first t-shirt design, the red Squig energy drink, which you can find linked down below. Anyways, all that's out of the way, we can get into the actual video, and that is kit bashing, we are going to use our artistry and our imagination to kit bash some things. And why this is really important is because it saves you a lot of money on Warhammer. And that's really what this is all about, is we're here to play the game. We don't have a lot of money. So what can you do? Where's the low-hanging fruit for you to do your army? And do it right, do it legal, like, you know, be able to go into a GW store or a tournament or whatever, and have people be like, yo, man, that's really cool, and enjoy it and dig it, and you feel proud about it. So I'm going to tell you all those things right now. Alright, so this video is about all things kit bashing, and what we're really going to focus on today are HQs and special characters, because these are the most expensive things that Games Workshop sells, kind of per capita, if you want to say, right? Obviously, vehicles are really expensive. Great big giant things are expensive. You know, your Gorkonauts, your Stompas, your Baneblades, right? But when it comes to your actual army, part and parcel, bread and butter, meat and potatoes, right? It's all in the characters. Now, there's some characters that are a lot harder to do that with than other, right? Old Gaz here, he's really big. There's no other orcs that get close to that. And it makes it really difficult. That being said, his price tag for what you're getting isn't that unreasonable. What I'm talking about are things, especially with Space Marines, it seems, like the Apothecary here. You can get the Apothecary in the Innominus set, which goes for crazy money online, or you can buy him by himself, and I want to say he's like $40 in the US. Let me check. Yep, I remembered correctly. He is $40 US for a single figure, right? And not even that, right? There's nothing different. He's got a robe on and some things. So what we did is we kit bashed one. So one of my Grots plays Ultramarines. He's got a pretty decent sized army. He's been really wanting an Apothecary and a couple other special characters, and I just don't have the teeth to afford those for him. What we can do, though, is buy some used Marines on the cheap, which we got from Mindtaker Miniatures, which is a local to us. We've done a video on them if you ever want to check them out. But we got some used ones, and we've been digging through their bits bin. The best thing about that place is they have this ginormous bits bin that you could dig through, and it's like $3 an ounce or something like that. And so we come home with baggies of bits like every week. And even if you don't think you're going to use them, you grab them anyway, and eventually it could come of use. So what we did here with this guy is he is a Primaris of random provenance, right? And but he does have the tabard on the front. We shaved off whatever was going on his breastplate and put a bunch of the purity seals on there, just like the real Apothecary. He's got a bolt pistol arm with a old school Apothecary shoulder pad from a Firstborn Marine. Plain one on the other side. We lucked out on finding this arm that's very similar to the Apothecary arm. And then this backpack is actually, I believe, from the Firstborn Devastators. And then, yeah, this little random bit here, which I don't even think is Space Marine. I have no idea what it is, but he looks like the Apothecary. He totally passes for it. And our total cost in this guy, obviously it's not a full ounce worth of bits, but, you know, figure you spend a couple bucks on bits and a couple bucks on the guy. We probably have less than, I don't know, I'd say $5 in this guy. And so now my son can paint him up and have an Apothecary in his army. Another low-hanging fruit that we had was the Tech Marine. So he also wanted a Tech Marine to go with his Vindicator that he restored. And same thing, right? We picked up, this is an easy build Primaris, you know, the ones that came on the little frame. You can find these things practically for free. They've been the Model of the Month giveaway like 1,000 times at GW stores. Found a random axe in the bits bin, as well as a little light bulb thingy here, which I think is actually from a tank. An old school metal arm from something that we put on there. This is a leftover bit from the plasma gun guys, Hellblasters. That's it, Hellblasters. When you build the Hellblasters, you end up with a lot of leftover of the wire things, which is really cool. So yeah, same thing. We just kind of threw him all together. I believe his head is from the Eliminator kit. But yeah, so he is 100% Games Workshop parts. and he is 100% legal, and his war gear matches what the Tech Marine has. He's on the right size base, he's got all the right equipment, and again, we've got like less than $5 in him. So for $10, we've built 2 characters for my son versus spending $80 retail adding those to his army. And it's not just Space Marines. One of my other boys, he does Tau, and he really wanted a Cadre Fireblade. And again, those are really expensive for what they are. It's a single Tau guy, right? And he's got basically a knife. So we found a cool Tau head, we found a knife, we found some arms, and we put everything together on our own. Now, is this one as cool as G-Dubs? I'll admit, this particular one is not. However, Tau bits are a little bit harder to come by than Space Marine bits, but he is super stoked with it, and that's the important part. Especially if you want to get your kids into this stuff, you want to get them things that make them excited about it, without having to, break the bank on it, because, they're kids. It's their first stuff. Anyways, and yeah, those are some of the examples. In fact, we've done an entire video on really specific orc ones right here. That would be these guys right here. We did the Mech Boys back in Orktober. In Orktober, I did a video every single day for the month of Orktober, and they were all orc themed or based, and we worked on making my orc army as built and as painted as I could get it in 31 days. And one of the things that we did was Scratch built a couple of converted Mech Boys, because the Mech Boys are out of stock on GDub, and they're really expensive. And I needed a bunch of them. So I built 2 of them out of spare parts. These are based on regular boys. Regular boys. Regular boys are cheap, especially compared to your characters. So the long and the short of it is, if you're going to do some converting for your army, if you're going to look for ways to save money and still be totally legit, getting those characters at the reduced price by scratch building them yourself and kit bashing is going to save you so much money in the long run, and it's going to like customize your army, and you're going to feel really good about it and be like, yeah man, this is my thing, right? But it totally works, right? Like, he's got the little pistol that's got the wiring to it, he's got the saw just like he's supposed to have, he's got the little backpack going on, right? He is a Mech Boy. This one even has wrenches and everything, right? Like, it's a Mech Boy. There's no question on the tabletop what these guys are, and they are fractions of the cost of doing the real Mech Boys. Right, and it's more than orcs and more than Space Marines and more than Tau 2. This is my Imperial Guard Castellan. I've got a decent sized force of Valhallans from when I was a kid, and some used ones I've picked up over the years since then, and then a pretty good chunk of the older Acadians that I use as like a planetary defense force, and well, they needed a Castellan. This guy is just built out of the command squad box with a Black Templar bolter added to him, right? I mean, it's a couple other little bits, and I believe the cape is from the sniper guy. So, you put it all together, and now I have a Castellan rather than spending the $40 on the Acadian Castellan, who looks exactly the same. In fact, my whole workbench is basically covered with projects that are going to eventually be things that are a lot more expensive than, or, are replacing something a lot more expensive. This is going to be my Lord Castellan for my Imperial Guard. This guy is a dude from Blood Bowl that I bought used for like a couple of bucks, right? And doesn't he look like a Lord Solar? He does, doesn't he? Right, like there's a lot of fun in that. So basically what it comes down to is look at your army, pop open your codex, look at your index, and go, okay, these are the units that I would like to have. Are there any especially infantry based HQ units that are really expensive to buy that I really want in my army? If there are there any ways that you can kit bash them? Go browse around on YouTube. There's plenty of things like how I showed you how to make Mech Boys. There are plenty of other channels that can show you how to make some of the other ones. I know that Necrons in particular have a couple that those characters only exist in this one set that's really stupid expensive. Space Marines have a lot of things that are kind of locked up in Indomitus still and other boxes like that. So if you find something that you need to build, go find a tutorial on how to build it. And if you can't find one, ask right here. Old Big Mech will gladly chop some things up and figure out how to build it for you. So yeah, that's the long and the short of it, right? Look at what army you're collecting, what army you want to collect, figure out what characters or what units are really expensive, and is there a way around it? Is there an alternative kit? Is there an older kit? Are there some kits you can kitbash? Are there some bits you can do? Dig around, ask some buddies for spare parts if they've got any laying around, and see what you can cobble yourself together, because it works for way more than just us orcs. And that's the takeaway that I want to leave you with in this video. I thank you all so very much for watching and hanging out with me today. If you liked what you saw, please feel free to throw a like down below for me. If you didn't like, throw that down as well. Either way helps me out with the algorithm so that I can grow this channel and you know, spread the joy of Warhammer on the cheap and with your family, because that's what we are all about here on The Red Ones Go Fasta. I'm Old Big Mech. I hope you all have a great one, and until next time, Wagwan!